Russian sniper destroys PTM-3 mines of the Ukrainian armed forces with accurate mine shots. It is a plastic-cased, pressurized anti-tank mine. The movement of a group of Ukrainian armed forces infantry was detected in the forest area. Drone operators intensively targeted the infantry. However, as the infantrymen were in the trees, the drones hit the bushes. The drone operators also tried several drone strikes. The infantry was heavily attacked in the trees, but the infantry came out of the trees and ran quickly across the open field.
Don't forget to leave your opinion about the video in the comments, subscribe, and like.
This time, the drones and artillery also hit and destroyed the infantry. In the same direction, FPV drones and aircraft-type kamikaze drone attacks were carried out in succession on the ruined buildings where Ukrainian infantry were hiding in the nearby settlement. A Russian tank coming to evacuate the equipment was attacked by Ukraine. The article does not specify whether it was a drone attack or an artillery attack, but I think it was a drone attack. Everyone is alive. The mission to evacuate the equipment is complete. Don't forget to join our Telegram group.
Нормально? А? Темка.
Near Pavlivka in Sumy region, the Ukrainian armed forces tried to use a bridge-laying machine to pave the way for their equipment to attack the settlement of Novi Put. Russian drones destroyed an engineering vehicle of the armed forces of Ukraine, disrupting the plan of the Ukrainian armed forces. In the direction of Pokrovsk, Russian tanks opened fire on the positions of the Ukrainian armed forces one by one. Reconnaissance drones monitor the tank fire moment by moment, trying to direct the tanks in the right direction to hit the targets. As a result of the harmonious work of tank and drone units, the positions of the Ukrainian armed forces were destroyed. The Ukrainian armed forces were conducting an offensive in the border area. It was sending infantry to Popovka and Demidovka. However, they suffered many casualties on the ground in these settlements. Russian drone operators and other troops are repelling all attempts of the Ukrainian armed forces to attack. Russian forces repelled the Ukrainian attack attempt on Mariino. 3 Baba Yaga drones were shot down near the village of Igorovka in the villages of Bogatyr and Novokranka. Russian reconnaissance revealed the position of an artillery gun of the Ukrainian armed forces. The attack drone then moved in and destroyed the artillery gun by hitting the very barrel of the artillery gun. Now it is a piece of junk. The Russian UAV reconnaissance unit uncovered a mortar position of the Ukrainian armed forces in the direction of Sumy. The crew realized that they were being tracked by Russian drones, camouflaged the mortar position, and disappeared. Pokrovsk direction. Russian fiber optic drone, Prince Vandal of Novgorod, destroyed a tank. M109 Paladin self-propelled howitzer, Humvee PBV-302 of the Armed Forces of Ukraine in the Dnipropetrovsk Oblast. These expensive pieces of equipment, parked and camouflaged, were issued traffic tickets. Each of them is now a pile of scrap. Don't forget to join our Telegram group. Evening attacks from the Dnipropetrovsk region. The American International MaxPre tracked vehicles and pickups of the Ukrainian armed forces were hit one by VT-40 and KVN drones. Night attacks continue in the Dnipropetrovsk region. This time, near the settlement of Novopavlovka, pickup trucks, armored vehicles, and a T-72 EA tank of the Armed Forces of Ukraine are being destroyed. Fedorovka settlement. A four-wheeled ATV vehicle was first detected in the wooded area. Then a mortar position camouflaged among the stones was detected. Artillery units of the Russian armed forces destroyed the ATV and the mortar position. Konstantinovskoye direction. Near the village of Delivka, the English-made FV-103 Spartan light armored personnel carrier was destroyed by the Russian FPV drone VT-40. Objective control at the moment of impact on the equipment fixes the drone on fiber optics. In the village of Berezniki, on the northwestern outskirts of the Kupiansk district of the Kharkiv region, an offensive unit of the armed forces of Ukraine moved towards the Belgorod region. As a result of a comprehensive fire attack, most of the Ukrainian armed forces were destroyed. A few slightly wounded infantrymen fled deep into the Kharkiv region. When the Ukrainian armed forces tried to advance in the direction of Goptarovka, they were stopped by Russian fiber optic drones. The Ukrainian armed forces attempted to move several assault groups with ATVs towards the Russian state border. However, Russian drone operators did not allow this and shot them down along with the ATVs. Russian reconnaissance drones have revealed the exact location of a BC depot in the fortification system of the Ukrainian armed forces in the Kharkiv region. With a single precision Vaugi shot, the BC depot was destroyed with a powerful explosion. In the Lipsy residential area, fiber optic drone operators destroyed an American-made Humvee. The crew left the vehicle as usual, leaving the door open. Why do you think this could be happening? Leave your thoughts in the comments. The Humvee was first attacked by artillery, then the fiber optic drone delivered the final blow. Sumy region, Korolki settlement. Russian reconnaissance operators found the 128mm Rak-12 MLRS, Croatian-made. The Lancet UAV was then launched to attack. Lancet accurately hit the target and destroyed the MLRS. A group of infantry hiding in a basement was detected in the direction of Sumy. 2 Russian kamikaze drones immediately took to the air and sped towards the target. With precision strikes, the basement was destroyed. A Russian FPV drone hit a moving vehicle. However, the drone could not hit the vehicle exactly. The vehicle continued on its way. Garan-2 kamikaze drone destroys Ukrainian armed forces trucks loaded with ammunition in Sumy. Ukrainian armed forces drones faced an unexpected attack. A Russian drone was waiting on the ground. Its aim was to destroy an enemy target. Suddenly, Ukrainian drones appeared in front of the Russian drone. The operator waited for a while, and when he saw the Baba Yaga drone, he immediately took off and destroyed the heavy helicopter-type drone in midair. The defeat of the equipment of the armed forces of Ukraine with a drone over fiber optics in one direction of the front line. FPV drone operators of the Special Forces of the Western Group destroy strongholds and UAV control repeaters of the armed forces of Ukraine. Russian reconnaissance drone detected the movement of Ukrainian UAV operators. Ukrainian UAV operators deployed to a house. They set up all their UAV equipment in this house. Russian artillery units then opened heavy fire on the Ukrainian armed forces UAV control point. FPV drone crews of the 200th Independent Guard Motorized Rifle Brigade detected and destroyed a camouflaged 122mm 2S1 Gvozdika self-propelled vehicle of the Ukrainian armed forces. The 152mm Hyacinth B cannon of the Dnieper troops destroyed a Ukrainian armed forces cannon in the Kherson region with an accurate hit.
Выстрел!
Two soldiers of the Russian armed forces first fired 2 shots from a grenade launcher at the house where the soldiers of the armed forces of Ukraine were staying. Don't forget to join our Telegram group. Then the 2 soldiers slowly approached the house to engage in a close-range firefight. Meanwhile, Russian drone operators are monitoring the whole situation from the air and informing the infantry on the ground. They inform the Russian soldiers about the movements of the Ukrainian soldiers and what they are doing. The simultaneous coordination of the troops is really important for the success of the operations. The Ukrainian armed forces were found to be actively using a basement. The activity in the basement was monitored and recorded by Russian drone operators for some time. Then, instead of attacking the basement with a drone, Russian engineers decided to send a robot loaded with heavy explosives. This small robot, which could move easily over rough terrain, slowly made its way to the basement. Once in the basement, the explosive was detonated and the basement was destroyed. In an open field in Chasiv Yar, a Russian drone was waiting for an attack. While it was waiting, a vehicle of the Ukrainian armed forces passed by. The attack drone activated and flew directly at the vehicle. In the same direction, the movement of personnel taking shelter in a basement was detected. Then a fiber optic drone arrived in the basement and destroyed the basement. After the basement was hit, the personnel in the basement took shelter in another house. This time, another Russian drone attacked the house they were hiding in. Part of the house was destroyed after the attack.